Court is calling 2023 CR 8639W, State of Texas versus Stephen Carmona. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks, the state of Texas.
Defense,
Johnny Cisneros for Mr. Carmona.
are you Mr. Carmona?
I am, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, I'm going to show you, Mr. Carmona, what is entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that with your attorney?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that your attorney has 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial?
I do, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
I do, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Carmona, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Information. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Carmona, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments to Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by information you're being charged with repeated violation of a court order or bond condition family violence? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
I do.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
I do, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, ma'am.
Do you believe he is currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Carmona, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I have.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I do, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $0 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration CM 112993, and there's to be GPS tracking only. Did you understand that to be the plea?
I don't believe the GPS. I thought we talked about not having. That's it. No, but you had said no, so I said no.
Okay. You can remove the tracking.
All right, so there's no GPS tracking.
No,
Yes.
GPS. That's right.
All right, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Carmona, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your supervision be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, no contact with. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Sure.
Then to the offenses charged by information, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence,
Yes, Your Honor, state offer States Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
and state, have you spoken to the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has spoken with the complainant and let her know that this is how we will proceed with the case.
All right. You may be excused to continue to confer. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I just got to meet him a little while ago and he seems like a fine young man. His parents are here. He's been brought up right. He's had a couple of issues before, nothing serious. But I think this is a good deal for him. It's a volatile situation that we have in front of us with his wife. And when we finish this, I'm gonna call his divorce attorney and let the divorce attorney know what's going on and how they need to proceed to protect him on my end.
All right, Mr. Carmona, are you employed?
I am, Mr. Honor.
What do you do?
I'm a call center manager.
What does that mean? For which company?
So I work for Go Health. What we
Okay.
do is Medicare licensed agencies to enroll 65 and older.
All right, why do you keep showing up at Miss Place? She doesn't want you anymore.
A lot of things were just to assist with the children.
She doesn't want you anymore. Do you understand what protective orders mean?
Yes, ma'am.
That means that you can't have any contact. That means that when I read in the police report that you're at the apartment, she's not there, which means if she's not there, that means that there are no children there. How old are the children?
He's 4 years old.
He's 4. So when you went to her apartment and she wasn't there, there was no 4-year-old there. So don't come before me telling me that you're doing this because there are a lot of child things going along. You still want her. She doesn't want you. She doesn't want to be bothered by you. The only time you can see her is when you all are in civil court with the divorce. Do you understand?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
42.
You're 42 years old. How long were you married?
Almost 7 years.
7 years?
So
So that means that you've been alive on the planet longer than you've been married to her. Let it go. You're not a teenager. She doesn't want you. If you violate the conditions that I'm going to give you, what's going to end up happening is you're potentially going to prison for 10 years. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that you do not understand that I'm saying to you?
Oh, ma'am.
If you are at the HEB and you see her at the HEB on aisle 2 or whatever, you need to leave that HEB. If you see her walking down the street and you're walking on that same street, doesn't matter if you got there first, you need to leave that street. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
She does not want to be in a relationship with you. If you all are working out arrangements through your divorce where there's child arrangements, that needs to be done through a third party. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if she gets involved in another relationship with somebody else, not your business. Do you understand? Well, you say yes, but you're here for repeated violation of bond conditions and protective orders. She doesn't want you. You got to accept it and move it on. You understand?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
if on the inside you are breaking down and your heart is broken and you think it's broken in a million pieces and it will never recover, pretend like your heart is not broken and keep moving. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $0 fine, 6 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration CM 112993. There's to be no contact with and when I say you have contact during court hearings, that's through your attorneys. So there's no out in the hallway. Hey, let's be nice to each other. Let's work. No, you're not to have any conversations with her. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Unless it's court ordered. So there's to be no contact with without a court order. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. And I'm going to want a TAP evaluation with him and to follow TAP recommendations. 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once parenting classes are complete, the 100 hours community service restitution will be deemed satisfied.
Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Carmona, because of your history with this violation of protective order, I am going to give you GPS. I'll do tracking only. I'll waive the fees. Counsel, once he shows that he's able to obey court orders, come back in about 4 months. We'll see how he's doing. So GPS tracking, waive or defer fees. Are you going to be living with your parents? Where are you going to be staying?
My house,
You have your own place?
I have my own house.
All right, I'm going to want field visits. One time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record from here on out. Everything that you do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. One is, what I'm doing, could it potentially result in me going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. Do you understand? And I am serious about you not having any contact with her. I don't know. This is the last time I'm going to say it. She doesn't want you. She doesn't want to be in a relationship. She doesn't want a Valentine's Day card from you. She does not want a Happy Mother's Day card from you. Do not send that. And if you do any of those things, if you email her, if you text her, if you send a card, if you send flowers just because, if you send something saying, I apologize for the way I behaved and this divorce is my fault, that will be a violation. Do you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
And do not have third parties contacting her unless it's your parents or somebody approved by probation to make arrangements for child visitation. Do you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thanks.
And,
Thank you.
and I was gonna ask that, Judge, if we could have the parents make connections with the mom for
For
visitation.
yes, for visitation, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 1123, State of Texas versus Henderson session. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Defense?
Catherine Valenzuela.
And are you Mr. Session?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Session, showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault, choking, strangulation? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Session, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer.
No, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, that is.
All right, defense.
That's the agreement.
All right. Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There are no such motions. Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, follow those recommendations. The state is unopposed to your transfer to Travis County. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer. State exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
And state, have you spoken to the complainant?
We have, Your Honor.
All right, and she's aware of this?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may continue to confer. Mr. Session, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, this case has been pending. During it, Mr. Henderson has been Mr. Sessions has been on a monitor. He has not had any problems with the monitor. He's had no contact with the complainant. And he's now in Austin with his three children. And he wishes just to go forward on this and to close this chapter. And he is working in Austin and he wishes that probation be transferred.
All right, what do you do for work?
I'm an electrician.
How old are your children?
17, 15, and 14.
All right, do they live with you,
Yes,
with their mom or?
yes.
So I see that there was some alcohol issues going on in this. So how often were you drinking?
Then on a regular,
What does that mean?
probably I have a few beers when I get off work daily. Yes, ma'am.
All right,
That was then.
Yes, that was then.
so did you just stop on your own? How did you do this?
Yes, ma'am.
So when's the last time you had a drink?
Probably last weekend.
Well, that's not good. And the reason why I say that is you're probably a person who should not drink because all of these things are slippery slopes. There's a reason why people are drinking beer after work. Maybe the job is hard, or maybe somebody got on your nerves. But when you find yourself drinking a beer every time you get off of work, that's a problem.
Right.
And then when you say, oh, well, I just do it now on the weekends, that's a problem because then you end up backsliding. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, even in your home, even on weekends. If you go to a party, you're not allowed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. Transfer to Travis County. And I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. We can do a TAP evaluation. If the TAP evaluation is recommending outpatient treatment, we're going to start with him doing the sober meetings. We're going to see how it goes. If there's an issue where you craving alcohol and you're remembering the good old days when you could drink alcohol, you probably need to call your, not probably, you should call your probation officer and let them know you need some treatment. You understand? Let me see. Right, probation, is there anything else he needs? Yes. All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No,
Right, showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we're going to go off the record. Here's the thing. Whenever you're in a relationship with somebody and it gets to the point where you think somebody's cheating and you want to check their phones, you need to take a good hard look at that relationship. Maybe you shouldn't be in it, because that means that there is no trust. The trust is not there. Don't go grabbing somebody's phone because you think they're being dishonest. Nobody should have to prove to you that you're not cheating, that they're not cheating. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So how old are you?
45.
Oh, you're old enough. You're not a teenager. You should know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.